participate in the compensation piece, so they will just be criminals. So it's going to be a problem when the amnesty eventually runs out, should they not continue to extend that. So I know my partner at work, Rod Giltaga, had a meeting last week with the Alberta government on this. He was out there for a conference. And this is something they're looking at trying to fix. Because what happens is, if nobody can go confiscate their guns, and they can't participate in the buyback, I'm just calling it that because people know what I'm talking about when I say that. Yeah, the confiscation program. When that amnesty runs out, and the program is over, that's it. You are now in illegal possession of a prohibited firearm that you are not licensed to use. You have no protection, and especially for those of us with restricted firearms, they know exactly who's got them and where they are. So there's a huge exposure there for Albertan and Saskatchewan firearms owners. So it's a good temporary roadblock, but it is not a protection.
Well, thank you for that. The last one is just a request, I guess, because talking to Mike, he cornered the mayor and police chief the other night at another function, and one of them said something to the effect of that this is going to protect Cape Breton. I can't believe it. For me, for you, right? And I just want you MPs to know, and hopefully you'll say this in the House, this is heartbreaking. Okay? I'm a veteran. My grandfather was a veteran in World War I. My father-in-law was in World War II. You don't need protection for me. I, the fellow veterans, we need protection from our own flipping government. Yeah, that's right. And they don't get it. This is my culture, this is our culture. And everybody else's culture, we gotta be sensitive to it, but not us. Exactly. What the hell? Right. So we need protection. We're not gonna fight anybody. We're not, that's not what we do, right? It's ballots in this country that you fight with, not bullets. And we need these people to understand this. They're breaking people's hearts. Thank you.
The man right there, left.
Kenny was the MC at my wedding. I've known him forever. I'd just like to add that you said when I cornered the mayor yesterday, or last week at a meeting, he said something that really sent chills up my spine. He said, I'm contacting Ottawa to get the names of all gun owners so I know who the gun owners are in my town, or in the CBRM, he said. I nearly fell down. I couldn't believe he said that. It was really surprising.
Yeah, just for the record on that, the mayor of your town has no jurisdiction and no right to access that information. So it would be my recommendation that we publish the contact information for that mayor, and every single person here either pays him a polite visit, sends him an email, a phone call, and tell everyone you know to do the same. That's ridiculous. He's got no right to that information.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, buddy. You're the man.
What's your name, Jeff?
Shane O'Hone. I run Cape Breton Talk. On. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, everybody. My name is Jeff Eveley. I'm a 20-year veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces as well.
Thank you for your service.
So, as the SDS, or Marxist radicals in the 70s, used to say, the issue is never the issue is always the revolution. By which they mean communist coup, the likes of which the globe is in the throes of right now. And I was holding a sign out there today that had some of the best experts on gun control on it, namely Mao, Stalin, Hitler, Pol Pot. Mao, he implemented gun control before he prosecuted the Cultural Revolution, the likes of which we are going through right now, especially in the wake of the Kamloops massacre hoax. And I guess my question is one of framing. It seems to me like we're always letting the left or the liberals frame the issue as one that's about sport shooting and hunting. It's about hobbies. just a cursory glance at history shows that disarmed populations are vulnerable, especially to democide, as in mass murder at the hands of one state, which is the number one cause of non-natural death in humans in the 20th century.
Yes.
And I think it's worth reflecting on the fact that the reason we're all here today is because Gabriel Warman killed 22 Nova Scotians, 23 County Unborn, and we still don't know who paid him the $475,000 the day before he went on that shooting rampage through a Briggs outlet, just like the RCMP paid their confidential informants. We do know of a communist tactic called anarcho-capitalism, or anarcho-tyranny, where they just allow crime waves to take place, so they can crack down on citizens and confiscate guns. So I guess my question is, why is it that we allow them to frame the issue as one of hobbies when in fact it's an issue of survival?
I'm not hogging all the answers, I hope. Yeah, you're right, and I do get a lot of flack for that on social media. People say, why are you talking about shoot paper targets? That's not why we own guns. There's people that make some videos like that, but I'll tell you right now, the CCFR is probably the youngest gun lobby. We are by far the biggest one in the country and the most influential, but we've had a public policy on self-defense from the very beginning. We also advanced a self-defense argument in the federal court and the appeals court, and we're on our way to the Supreme Court with it as well. As self-defense as a reason why we need to own these firearms and why it is illegitimate for the government to take them from us. So it's not that conversation isn't happening. It is. Self-defense is not a legal reason to acquire a firearm in Canada. However, it is legal to defend your life with one, should that situation arise. I think the conversation around self-defense, unfortunately, is changing in this country, and it's actually becoming mainstream. And I mean, you'd think as a gun lobbyist, that's what I want, but it's not. It means we're becoming more violent as a society. We've got more violent crime being committed. You've got Doug Ford talking about Castle Law. I mean, whoever saw that coming. So yeah, the conversation is definitely changing. But I think for the most part, most gun owners in Canada have practiced their culture with, hunting and sport shooting. That's kind of the everyday use. But do we all know why we really own these firearms? Yeah. But that's not the forefront of the conversation. It's just the way it is.
I got coyotes. And they wear red.
So I'm picking up a theme today at the rally and of course here at town hall. So for those of you that are actually veterans or current serving members, if you're willing, could you put up your hands, please? We'll give these folks a round of applause. Thank you very much. Jeff, I remember I've been in Parliament since 2006. I was there the year that Stephen Harper became the Prime Minister, and I worked with Ludwig Mikulski, Polish Canadian, my wife is a Polish Canadian, who headed up the Tribute to Liberty project, where we actually have a monument against communism for those that are victims of a monument to the tribute to the victims of communism. And Jeff, you rightly pointed out there's been far more people killed by that ideology than I think any other ideology in the world. So it is absolutely something that I think concerns everybody who thinks about these things. But at the end of the day, there's 2.3 million of us in Canada that own firearms. On a per capita basis, I think we're not nearly where the Americans are, but I think we're in the top 10 as far as seventh most armed civilian nation, whether you're a hunter, I don't care what motivates you, whether you're a sport shooter, whether you're a farmer or a rancher, killing coyotes. By the way, when you see them in a pack of semi-automatic, it's very, very hard. And as a former conservation officer, somebody who's actually wearing a uniform, and it's you just take a look. The Yukon Territory just a few years ago switched their patrol vehicle carbine to an AR-10 platform, and it said that the justification was for human-wildlife conflict. The government of Alberta has done the same thing. I think the Ontario government has done the exact same thing. When I was a conservation officer, I wasn't fighting with people. I was protecting myself and protecting other people from wildlife. And what's the most efficient means to do so? Is a high caliber semi-automatic, because you don't know how many it's going to take, and you might miss the first one. And you want to protect life, and you want to protect people, protect yourself. So why, if that's the case for a conservation officer, why isn't that the case for a hunter? I'm a hunter. That's all I do. I'm not a sport shooter. I'm not a collector. I'm just a hunter. And you know what? There's guns now. So every gun that's in my hand is a hunting rifle. Doesn't matter what it looks like, because I'm a hunter, right? And you know, this is affecting all of us. It doesn't matter anymore. Hunters realize Ruger number 1, single shot rifle on the list. And we're the weather the guns right now. Weather feed. It doesn't make a single gun that even looks remotely close to a black rifle. And they have at least a dozen entries in the prohib list now. Doesn't make any sense at all. But one of the things that I think, we're having this conversation now, conversations that we didn't think we were going to have, because the Liberals have done what they've done. And it started with Bill C-75 and the bail reforms, where they said we're going to release people at the earliest opportunity with the least amount of restrictions. Well, we've seen what happens with that. We got violent crime up over 50%, illegal gun crime, not gun crime, illegal gun crime up 130%. We've got extortion up over 300%. By the way, in Bill C-5, which they passed in the next parliament after that, they actually removed the mandatory minimum penalties for all of those offenses. Smuggling goods across the border, they removed the mandatory minimum. Committing an offense with a firearm, removed the mandatory minimum. Committing extortion with a firearm, they removed the mandatory minimum. And I got the whole list here, I can go through it. If you're wondering why our country is suffering through the crime that it is right now, it's because there are no consequences for criminals. Yeah. But there seems to be consequences for every one of us in this room. And we are patriotic, law-abiding people. We love our country, and we just want it to go back to some common sense. And that's why I respect and admire Peter so much. Just a little while ago, he came out and said, we're going to have a stand-on-guard law. There is no reason that if somebody brings a fight to your doorstep to attack your family, steal your property, or attack you, that you should end up facing more charges than the criminal who came to your property. Censorship laws and everything that they're trying to pass, and they're putting some more before the House of Commons right now. We're going to be debating these things in the coming days and weeks. It just makes you wonder where we're headed. It's almost like it's planned.
Thank you very much. All right. Seeing as it is 8:01, and as everyone who was at the rally today knows, I'm a stickler for sticking to the time. So, because we were there until 5 o'clock, not a moment later. We didn't leave a moment earlier.
Yeah.
So, we have time for one more question.
I got a quick one.
Yes,
Has there
sir.
been any thought to doing another integrity march?
So I remember, for those of you who either came or saw it online, the CCFR, I think it was right after the first gun ban. We called it the Integrity March, and we did it in Ottawa. The idea was, we were going to bring everyone to Ottawa, and we were going to march around through Wellington and through, the streets in front of the House of Commons and look and see if we could find any integrity at all. Unfortunately, we didn't find any there. Rod and I had said, if we got 1,000 people there, we'd be happy with that, because you never know if people are going to show up or not. Today was the same deal. People ask me, how many people are coming? Well, I have no idea. How do I know, right? I'm not even from here. But I'll tell you, walking up the steps of Parliament Hill that day, and when my eyes, crested the lawn, and there was 5,000 people that turned around and looked at me, I remember just snapping a picture of them, and they were all totally silent, staring at me. And I texted it to Rod, who was back at the hotel with CBC doing an interview. And I'm like, you better get your ass up here. There's a lot of people. But yeah, Rod and I were talking about it the other day. And I think we're overdue. Would you guys come to Ottawa? I think it's all you. Will you come see me? Yeah? Let's do it.
Okay, the gas prices go down.
So before we conclude, I just want to again reference the email address.
We have more questions.
One more question.
Questions.
I was just on a quick one.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I know a lot of this is aimed towards the guns. We see some of these signs up here as wasted tax dollars.
Yes.
Do they even have a breakdown of the 750 million, or is this just
Yeah.
a liberal, oh, well, it's gonna cost this much, and so
Yeah.
it tells you?
Oh, yeah.
What is it, like,
Well,
is there any numbers at all?
So the entire pot is $742 million.
Yep.
Now, they've already spent over $100 million of that money already.
At least
And
six.
don't forget, that $742 million isn't to compensate gun owners for their guns.
That's right.
That's to run the bureaucracy of the program. There's 156 people working full-time in Ottawa right now, working on this program, trying to figure out how to take your stuff. So the salary alone for 156 full-time Ottawa bureaucrats is a lot.
Bet you
So
they're
the money's
relatives.
being down. We actually, there is on ccfr.ca, the very latest web story right there, we did a breakdown of that. Because during the technical briefing, we asked them, like, how many guns do you think that's going to pay for? And they budgeted, they know there's 126,000 formally restricted that they know of. And you'll have no choice. Those forms will auto-populate themselves. And and then they said the total will be 152,000 guns they pay for. They are only going to pay for 26,000 guns, and there's approximately 500 to 700,000 affected. So no, your chances of getting any money are a drop in a bucket.
Sounds like
You're
a
not
buck
gonna
fifty
get
a gun.
it.
So in other words, they don't know the breakdown, but they're just throwing this out there on a hope and a prayer.
It's a Hunger Games. That is the full amount of money they're dedicating to this program. But don't forget, law enforcement's getting their share. The Winnipeg Police got $2 million of it already.
Good.
Your police chief down the road here already took over $100,000. So that money goes to them too. It goes to them long before it goes to you. There won't be any money left for your guns.
So they're spending my money just on whatever, man, a waste of time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, everybody's money. Our
Just to
money.
add to that, when they first announced this, they said it was going to cost $200 million. Now it's $742 million. And you have some experts who are pointing out that it could be in the billions, up to $6 billion. So you have to be real skeptical when you're listening to this government in Ottawa talk about what something's going to cost, because it's going to cost a lot more than they think it's going to. And it's, Tracy said, it's not going to the people in this room, it's going to big bureaucrats.
That's why I wanted to know if it was a breakdown,
Yeah.
just to see where this number's going.
Yeah, and they said it's capped. We said it's going to cost billions of dollars. You said right from the beginning, gun owners would get fair compensation. Now they're not saying that line anymore, if you haven't noticed. So the minister said in the leaked audio that I leaked to the media, and even in the press conference in Parliament Hill the other day, he said it is a capped program. When that $742 million money pot is out, and they're like halfway through it now, you get nothing. So there's about 26,000 guns that will get paid for out of that, and the rest, that's it. You get nothing.
Can I ask, for here in Cape Breton, what is the expectation of the government? What do they want to volunteer? How many? And are they going to publicly announce how many they have collected? And what's the time frame?
Yeah, so for the pilot project, they're only accepting 200 guns. So I know that
They're only what?
for the pilot project, they're only accepting 200 guns. So it doesn't matter if, let's say, 500 people step forward and, for the pilot program and volunteer for it. They only want 200 guns, not 200 people. Because many of us own way more than one, that's been bad. They only want 200 guns. So we'll see if those people even get paid or not, but I highly doubt it. And whether or not they get, 500 people that come forward or nobody, they're going to tell you it was a swimming success and that everything went perfectly. They're not going to tell you that, that we're doing damage to their program. It doesn't matter what happens, they'll tell you it went perfectly.
So we collected 5 guns from Cape Breton.
No, well, they're only gonna accept 200, so that's not.
Just saying it was.
So if they get
Well,
to,
look at- they
it's a
took
success.
12,000 guns from,
It's
retailers,
a
and
success
he said
if they
got
get
them off the
200 guns.
streets.
That's
They're
what
in
you're
gun
saying.
shops, like, what are you talking about?
They only say what they want you to believe, but they can't. They're fake news.
Okay, I'm gonna